Maybe I'll try this one.
What's up? What's up?
What up?
We are back. City Boys in the building. It's good to be back, man. We this is what we do. This is our therapy.
Yeah.
As 5 black men from the city, from different places, different upbringings, different backgrounds, different vantage points, different viewpoints, different experiences, but we love the same God.
Absolutely.
We are Jesus lovers, so we're
love
not ashamed of
baby
that. We talk about everything from our faith to our women, to our money, to our struggles, to our highs and to our lows. We're not ashamed of it, and through it all, God has been good to us.
Came in naked, leave naked.
Yeah, and we thank Him, and we all 40 and up.
40 and up.
Yeah, everyone's 40. That's
40 and up. That's
Yeah.
So if you if you got a problem with season,
Come on, son.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Dang, I'm seasoned.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got season on you now.
You got season on
Actually,
it.
hold on, Pierre. You're actually uncle status.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I feel like I've been up though.
Okay.
Like
Uncle
a-
Dash.
Uncle Dad.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
Hey, you getting close to that colonoscopy now.
They colonoscopy.
Yeah. He getting close to that now. You know what I mean? That ain't no joke, bro. That ain't no joke. I'll tell you that right now. I ain't even gonna say nothing about it.
So listen, today is we have a guest. He is our second guest that we've ever had. Courtesy of our executive producer, Dr. Dwayne Shaw. He wanted to mix things up, so we wanted to do that. Mr. Martez Armstrong, y'all give it up for the brother.
Welcome, brother.
Martez in the house. Thank you, fellas. Sir. Yes, sir.
He's been hanging out with us for a couple hours.
Made himself at home. He came in, he was on tight time. Hey, man.
Definitely did.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop the bombshell. Martez Armstrong is a gay male.
Okay.
And I know this is different for our audience, but I felt like 5 confident heterosexual men can handle being around a gay man. I think people who struggle with their sexuality
It's wild.
are uncomfortable being around gay people in general.
Yeah,
In particular,
Yeah.
a man who is struggling is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But Martez, I ain't got no problem, bro. I like what I like, and I'm not jumping the fence.
Right.
And I don't have no problem with nobody who do.
At the end of the day, in my mind, before the gay part, he's a man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Black
Yeah.
man, for sure.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
that's it right there.
Yeah. But tell us a little bit about yourself, and kind of share your journey of really coming out and how it shaped your identity today. I think this, first off, right here is definitely unusual.
Yes, it is.
Definitely unusual.
Yeah.
And
Not for me, but maybe for other people.
well,
Yeah. You're right. Alpha male. So
Alpha
Yeah.
males, man.
Yeah.
Because again, like a lot of people are uncomfortable around people who have, and just for me, I don't want to keep saying gay,
Yeah.
because I don't like to say it. I'm gonna say alternative.
Okay.
What that the same?
No, gay is fine.
gay is fine.
Alternative is fine too.
Okay.
That's fine.
Because that could be. I know.
Yeah,
Like,
because alternative implies, like, a lot of people like to call it a lifestyle, and I don't like that terminology because it's not something, me personally, that I chose.
Okay.
I feel like when you say, "Oh, you chose that lifestyle," that's not something that I chose.
Okay.
Now I'll get more into that
All right, good deal.
as we go deeper.
So, all right, tell us where you from, bro.
I'm from Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Rocky Mount.
Yeah, 252.
Okay.
252 stand up. Yeah. Yeah, on the other side of Raleigh. I came.
Y'all wild down there too.
Oh yeah, we're wild. Yeah, that's why I'm still here. Yeah, real wild down there. But I love my city. I came here in 2007 for college. I went to UNCG. When I got my undergrad in business studies management, went back and got my master's in human resource management, and I've been here ever since.
Okay.
Greensboro is where I found myself. I wanted to be far away from home because I knew I needed to find myself, but I still want to be close enough to,
Yeah.
you know, if I need to get back.
Get back. Yeah, to get back.
If I need to get to me.
Yeah.
Get to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and just been in the city, elevating myself ever since. Oftentimes find myself in the room in executive presence, and I'm often the only black one, and I'm the youngest one pretty much in all the ones. But I made myself that way. I built myself to be successful black and
Right. Let me just say, like, what's obvious to me. Like, if I see you on the street, bro, you don't look gay.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm just going. I don't know if that's an insult or.
No, it's not an insult. I get that all the time. It is, but one thing that I do challenge people when they say that is gay doesn't have a look, which is why a lot of times the DL man thing comes into play because a lot of times the men on DL, you just don't know that they're gay, because
So
everybody.
that's not a real thing.
DL is a real thing. Okay. I'm just saying
They
that.
don't- They don't use
That is a
it.
real thing.
It's a real thing. And it's not something that I subscribe to. I don't like that. I don't think that is fair to the parties that are involved in those situations. So I don't subscribe to that. But I do think that sometimes the representation that I represent, which is on the more masculine side of gay, is not often represented in the masses or in the media. There's a lot of the feminine aspect, which I respect too.
Which is why I said you don't look.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the way a lot of people feel. And I get that. But I would just say sometimes gay doesn't really have a look. It's just what we are used to seeing, what we've been fed. This is what a gay.
What's been portrayed? Yeah.
Particularly, one thing I don't like the media do is that they put a lot of feminine black gay men in front of us.
Right. Definitely.
And they don't show the other side. I feel like it should be more of a balance because I'm all for people being who they are. But yeah, go ahead.
Do you feel like there's an agenda just in entertainment? Because it used to be like a taboo thing, like for amongst the black community especially. It's like you knew, that cousin or that uncle might have been gay, but we ain't really speak to it. And they ain't really like was forcing it on people. But it seems now today's society that there isn't a show that isn't on TV where I feel like that agenda isn't pushed to some point. And it's
I get what you're saying.
It's just like,
No, I get what you're
why y'all
saying.
trying to like,
No, I get what you're saying. But I would challenge that in saying that I don't think that it's more so of an agenda versus representation.
Yeah, I was gonna
Because
say, yeah,
at the same time, back in the 60s and 70s, black people was complaining about they didn't see themselves represented on TV. And so it's the same thing now, right? There are people have gay children. So gay is okay if gay children see themselves represented. Now, if we're going to talk about the agenda and the pushing it on kids, and I just say, if we're going to talk about that, then leave it all alone. Because if we can't see Tom and Tim kissing, I don't need to see Tom and Jane kissing either, because it's pushing the same agenda.
for sure.
If you're taking out the sexual aspect and all of this, then it should be removed altogether, right? You see what I'm saying?
I think that.
A hetero or homo. I'm just saying, take it all out. If that's what we're saying, if that's the case, it's all bad for kids, But because homosexuality has just been shunned so much, especially in our community, the gayness now is like, oh my God, this is just too much. And I'm like, well, gay people have been around since the beginning of time. It was just. What?
Let me go back.
Yeah.
Because like I got questions.
Go ahead.
So like do you feel you were born gay or you became gay?
I absolutely was born gay. I've been knowing I like boys since I was in kindergarten, from what I can remember.
What does that feel like?
Yeah, the same thing it felt like for you when you knew you liked women.
What was your environment though? What was your environment?
My father has always been a part of my life. I've never been molested. I grew up with my father. I grew up with my mother. I grew up with a stepfather in the house who was also very present, my brother's father. I have uncles. I have older male cousins. I've had very strong male influences in my life. That's not my story.
It wasn't like a something happened.
No, I was never molested. I was never touched. I knew when I got on the bus, I wanted to see an old boy that I liked on the bus.
Use that as a cop out.
Use what? I want to be clear.
Molestation or like,
No, I don't want. No, I'm never going to invalidate somebody's experiences from that because I have never experienced that.
Got you.
I do think that that does happen, and I do think that that may influence because when someone is violated like that, a lot of times they feel like that's where their value is, so they may gravitate toward that. However, that's not all gay people's story.
Okay.
And I just want everybody to understand that too. That's not every gay person has not
Had some tragic.
had some trauma in their life that has just made them. Everybody hasn't been raised in a household full of women. All the things that we think about where, that we'll say, I've heard it all, that boy need a daddy in his life. Where's the father? This is why black men need to step up and be fathers. I'm like, my father was around. I never not known who my father was.
Yeah.
Since I can remember.
So Martez, question: have you ever wanted a woman?
I've been with him.
So you done did the both way thing.
I've been
Threesomes
with
and
women.
everything.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
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 So you ain't P-Diddy freak on us.
Yeah. Okay.
Be clear.
Yeah.
Be clear.
No baby oil now.
Yeah, no baby oil.
All right.
No baby oil with no shit in it. This drug people.
Yeah. All right. So you heard me, right?
Okay. Ain't nobody get nothing. They knew what they was doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody drug nobody.
Yeah. So did you like the woman, or it was just something you wanted to try?
Well, I, if I'm being honest, so
Yeah.
I've been new since I was very young, but growing up, I'm from North Carolina, I'm from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. That shit wasn't flying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm looking for the baddest one. Like, who can I take home? But I'm like, ooh, I just kind of want to be your friend. But you know what I'm saying? But you look nice. I like you.
Yeah.
The conversations happen. I went to prom with the girl. I have the photos.
Yeah.
Most teenagers do on prom night.
Yeah.
It happened.
Yeah, you busted wide open, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She was my first. I was her first.
Okay.
We did what we had to do. I was with someone in college, but I just knew that desire that I kept trying to suppress, that I kept trying to pray away, that I wanted to go away because I did not want to be gay. So that's why when I say people who say you chose this lifestyle, nobody would choose to go through the shit we have to go through.
Yeah.
Honestly,
He just said something really important.
Like,
He said I did not.
That's what I was about to.
That's what
I did. No,
Yeah. That's big, man.
absolutely not.
Yeah. So, at what age did you have your first experience with a man?
18.
So you already know Martez.
Yeah, senior high school. It was a guy who was already out and gay. He used to say little stuff to me, and I would ignore him. And then we had how seniors always skip school. Second semester, we already done. We got that one class that we, you know what I'm saying, that we just going to get the last credit. We out of here. So we skipped school. The whole group of us, we went to the mall one day. And I was the one who had the car. and he was the last person that I dropped off, and he leaned over and he kissed me, and I didn't stop him. And then I felt so bad afterwards. I actually threw up on the ride home.
Because you didn't want
I
to be
didn't
gay.
want to be gay.
Dang.
And so, because I had been told all my life, you're going to hell, you know, we like to cherry pick the Bible and talk about which sins are greater than the other
are
ones. But yes, absolutely. I believe in God. I love him. I talk to him every day. I don't believe that I'm going to hell because of my lifestyle. I say that because that's the term that they use. I don't believe that I'm going to hell for being gay. I feel like there are going to be a lot of murderers and prostitutes that are going to make it into heaven, and a lot of people that jump up and down in the pulpit every Sunday are not going to make it in. Just because the judgment and the not loving your brother and sister like you're supposed to.
The commandment.
Yes, okay.
Does the church you go to accept you as a gay male?
I don't belong to a church home. I did, and I stopped going because there were comments that were made that I didn't necessarily agree with. But for me, church is not where I go, is what I do. So when I wake up and I pray to the Lord, I'm having church. When I am worshiping with my gospel music, I am having church.
My church. See, we got church.
Okay, look, send me any recommendations you got.
Like we just a community that loves everybody.
And listen, and I want to make sure that I am very clear. I am never here to try to get people to change their beliefs. I don't need acceptance. I need respect. There's a big difference. You don't have to accept my lifestyle. You don't have to do all this. Just know that I'm a man, and if you take it there with me, I'm gonna take it there with you.
For sure.
And that's just where it starts and stops. So if you respect me, I respect you.
No, I love you. First of all, no. Listen what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like that's a godly commandment. I don't have to agree.
Yeah.
But what you do, to love you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like,
Well, I've always said as a preacher and a pastor that you can hate the sin or the act,
Yes.
but love the person.
exactly.
And I think at the end of the day,
What God do?
people are okay with you not necessarily liking or that's your preference.
Right.
Yeah. But love me. Like love covers a multitude of sins. Like at the end of the day, I think people of all backgrounds just want to be loved.
Yeah.
And
It's not like I said, for me, man, I got my mama and my daddy. You know what I'm saying? So as long as they love me, I don't.
They love and
It's what
accept
it is.
you.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
So I got a
it's
question.
a while to get there, but
Yeah,
you know what I'm
Martez.
I think on a much lesser scale, I dealt with that same kind of thing when I chose to do secular music.
Yeah.
Because I had been reared in the church and brought up in the church. This one lady told me one time, she was like, "You going to hell if you don't sing for Jesus." But I had been told by my mom, who brought me up in church, who was a minister in church, my pastor's adjutant, like right there, we there every time the doors open.
Yeah.
Son, I would much rather you do gospel music because I reared you in church.
Yeah.
But you my son first.
Right.
And if this type of music makes you happy, I want you happy because you my son. But I knew then, I was like, it's up. Like I don't really put too much onus in what y'all got.
Absolutely.
The goat told me
Exactly.
I was good.
Okay.
You know? So
Listen.
So Martez, when you realized you was ready to come out with being gay, and like, how was you and your dad's relationship? Like was that really? What was that? Was that hard for you to go to your dad, being his son?
I didn't go to my dad. My dad came to me,
Okay.
and I didn't come out. I was outed.
How?
So I went to a gay club in Raleigh. In the gay club, I saw one of the guys that my daddy used to play cards with.
Dang.
In the club. And so I went home a couple of weekends later, because I was in college. Yeah. And so But I'm like, you was in there too, so what did you say? So I went home, and so I went and saw my dad, like I always do when I go home. I went and saw my dad, and I was dropping him back off at my grandmother's house, and he got out of the car and he came around on my driver's side. I'm like, what's he doing? He like rolled the window down. I'm like, what? You just in the car? He said, I'm gonna ask you a question. I want you to be honest. I said, what? He was like, are you gay? And so I just looked at him, and he was like, yeah, cause such told me they seen you in the club. So now I'm angry because one, that's not your story to tell.
Right.
Two, I don't know what's about to happen now with me and my, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because this wasn't the time that I was ready to have this conversation. So he was like, get out the car. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, he about to whoop my ass, bro. Like, and I'm like, this is my fault, but I can't fight back. Like, I'm about to get my ass whooped. And so I got out of the car and I just started crying, and he just grabbed me and hugged me. He was like, you my son, I'm always love you. I don't care about that shit. Like, I've been had my suspicions. I don't know why you trying to hide it, You know, your parents always know.
Yeah.
Listen, isn't my camera right here? All my young black gay people,
Men or women, trans, whatever, your parents know.
You're not hiding it. And most of us, we were in the closet, but the closet had like a glass door, so everybody was just waiting for us to like. Everybody was waiting for us to like step out, like.
Hey, but listen.
I'm
gonna tell y'all why it's facts. Because the same way you say your parents know you gay, for the straight, me and your parents know when you started.
Yeah, they know when to the day. I'm telling you, bro.
For 2 years. I was like, all right.
Soon as I walked in the house, my mama said, you better have to wrap it up. And I'm like, what do you mean?
They already know.
Like she smelled it on me. She literally smelled it on me.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say was, don't put yourself through a lot of turmoil trying to cover up who you innately know that you are. Because a lot of times people don't make it out of that. It's a lot of suicide in my community. Just because people are afraid to lose. I didn't want to tell my parents until I was financially independent and I could sustain my
situation to tell them.
Yeah, well, so my daddy, I was outed to my father. My mother didn't know. Okay. And I asked him not to tell my mama and let me just, do that in due time. So my father took it way better than my mother did, which was what I thought was going to be the opposite. Because mothers have an idea when they have children. I'm going to be a grandma, you're going to have a wife, Like, this is kind of what they start planning, when they have children. And so what I will also say to my community is a lot of times what my community lacks, and I'll take accountability for this, is grace. We don't give our heterosexual family, friends, counterparts, relatives, whatever, grace when we come out, quote unquote. Because we feel like we should automatically just be accepted, right? Yeah. But what we have to understand sometimes is that is a grieving process for our people, because what they had envisioned for us is no longer.
It's a shock.
It's a shock. Yeah. And so we have to give them grace.
Yeah. Give them time. Give them time to receive it, and
give them time to receive it. Yes, but on the flip side of that, because what you'll learn about me is I'm very logical thinker. If you turn a glove inside out, it still got to be a glove. So we give grace. You also, as a parent, shouldn't be kicking your child out of the house and making them homeless and getting them on the streets to now where they are selling their bodies and they'll contract their HIV and AIDS and doing all this because they are in survival.
Right.
That is not right. You see what I'm saying? That is still your child. You don't have to agree with the lifestyle. You don't have to accept it. but you do still have to love your child and raise your child, right? And then send them off into the world and make them fend for themselves. But a 14-year-old has no business being on the streets by themselves because you caught them with a boy or you caught them with a girl. You see what I'm saying? That is very heavy, and that is a lot of trauma that a lot of my community has to go through and work through from a very young age.
Do you feel like the whole idea of the LGBT kids?
Stop right there. That's all this new stuff.
Bro, it is like
Hey, man,
Y'all about to get me. No, y'all about to get me in trouble with my community. Don't do that. Y'all about to get me canceled. Stop it right there. I don't know.
I was only doing that because this side of the community have been attacked for missing them letters.
Yeah, well,
I don't want to leave no letter off.
Yeah. We can stop it right there with me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Then the queer is gonna be like, you ain't say Q.
you ain't say Q. Like,
I'm sorry. I apologize. I love my community, but at some point we doing a little bit much.
Right.
I'm just saying.
I got you.
Like,
so do you feel like it's more accepted with women than men?
Absolutely.
Why is that?
Because femininity is always going to be more palatable for women than when people look at it for men. And so that's why the same reason why the same man, heterosexual man, could get turned on by two women be the same reason why he will be in disgust with two men. Because the thought of a man not being masculine enough, because that's what it boils down to, is that if you think about two men having sex, somebody is emasculating themselves in the act, and that is what particularly black men don't like.
Right.
We talk about it all the time with the straight community. You know, y'all talk about how women like to try to emasculate men all the time. It's something that straight men do not like. And so
Is it the emasculation or just the simple fact I'm not attracted to another man?
Oh no. I'm not talking about attraction. I'm talking about why it's more palatable for two women than it is two men.
You know what's crazy? I don't like either. I think
I think there are men like that too that don't. Yeah, there are some men that don't enjoy.
You don't get around seeing two women.
No. Now, have I had to? No one said they were kissing.
I got you.
But I wanted to tell you something out of respect. I appreciate you. I have a gay stepson, and he out. I don't even think he ever was in. So I can always appreciate, because I think another piece of that is I can appreciate someone who is that is a gay male that understands he's attracted to men, because this is a thing that a lot of people that don't the people that are on the DL don't understand. Forget that you may like men or women. We still talking about health here. And you know, the ones who are on the DL or trying to figure it out, sometimes that can be unhealthy.
Yes.
I hope everybody understands what I'm
saying. I understand perfectly what you're saying.
I can appreciate
and you are correct.
You being out like you being out. I respect that. Again, I love you first. I may not agree with everything, but I would prefer you decide who you are.
Yes.
Than be out here doing this and that.
Dibbling and dabbling.
Yeah.
You
know what I mean?
So you, because you mentioned the DL, is like for you and your community, are they accepted, or is that like something that's y'all kind of shun that?
It depends on who you speak to, honestly. I'm gonna just keep it all the way a buck. the community, some people in the community got to be cool with it, because if they weren't, it wouldn't be no DL man. Honestly, so it's obvious that some of them enjoy it, and I'm not going to be a hypocrite and sit up here and say that I haven't ever dealt with a DL man, but I was young, early 20s. I'm talking 2021 when before I was out, because it was safer to deal with another DL person than it was to deal with somebody who was out because of the fear of being outed.
Right.
So after I was outed, I'm done with that now. Like,
Why
I'm not, because I'm not going back in the closet. I mean, I've not been drug out now. Why I'm gonna go back in for you?
For you, I guess.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing that anymore. And you're not about to come up to my house at 2:00 in the morning with a hoodie scrunched all the way up, so nobody know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like.
So, but you done distinguish the roles though. So, or do you already is the roles interchangeable? Like, sometimes you play the female, or the male, or you the male all the time?
All the time.
So you
I'm an alpha male too. Don't get it
you
twisted.
question.